Be my friend.
Oh, I got that heat.
Welcome back, Chart Addicts, to the Expert Trader podcast series. CueBanks is in the building. Q, say hi to the traders at home.
What's going on, traders? What's up? We're out here again, gonna knock out another dope-ass interview.
Excited to have you in the building. Q, last time we talked was 4 months ago. What has changed since then? And catch us up about your life.
Yeah, I feel like, damn, like 4 months flew by. Definitely, especially like, it being 2020 and dealing with all like the virus stuff and just the closed stores and everything is just pretty much limited. But for the most part, a lot has been changing for these past 4 months for me. Like, added a new car to my collection. That's like super big to me, which was to commemorate a huge day that I had inside of markets like a couple months ago. And I'm working on like a huge project like right now when it comes to like my compound, which is the FIP HQ, the Forever and Profit headquarters. It's going to be such like a major project for me, but it's also going to be for like the longevity of just like my family and friends, a place that people can actually just go and just hang out, vibe. The compound is going to be, envision this real quick, right? It's a 1.56 acre piece of land. It's going to have I have currently 2 goats on the land now, running around and whatnot. I have 2 more goats coming from Mongolia. I have, and on the compound is going to be so sick. It's going to have a custom basketball court with the Forever and Profit logo on it, the bull logo inside the middle, and then all the brands that is based around Forever and Profit. Like it's going to have a picture of like Wall Street Academy on it. It's going to have a picture of Technical Prosperity on it. It's going to have a picture of Profits for Life, which is by Emil. It's going to have Bossing Up with Drew, which is by Drew. It's going to have all those things kind of like just bring together, the brand itself. It's going to have.
So is it like an office?
This has, and like the greatest thing about the compound, it has nothing to do with business. It's all about, it's more fun. I feel like things that I'm doing nowadays, it's all about more fun. I'm very, very over the business aspect of things because everything is like it's more smooth. Like I feel like I wouldn't say automated, but at the same time, like I put in so much work into like all of my platforms and that kind of stuff that it doesn't really take that much effort for me to actually run everything. And plus I still trade every single day as it is, so I still putting like, the same amount of time in my craft that I've been putting in, but at the same time, it's a lot more time efficient. So when it comes to the compound, like it's going to have the big ass swimming pool on it. It's going to have a 2-bedroom apartment, which is kind of like at a nice size also. Then it's going to have the huge garage, which is going to be the showcase for certain cars. So I'm going to have maybe about 10 slots for cars inside there, a lounge inside there. So it's going to be a place that I could actually really open up my passions for cars and just like collecting certain cars. So like that's the route that I'm going like now, but I feel like in my journey at this point now, I've knocked out a lot of milestones. You know what I'm saying? I've had big days. I've had the car that I want. I've had this, I had that. So now it's like, what more can we do when it comes to one level up? So this is when I'm actually going to be, acquiring that piece of space that I could actually just build out something that I've always dreamed about,
Right. I really want to hear about that long-term vision that you have now. Like now that you're thinking so much bigger, you're thinking about what's next. Because I feel like a lot of the traders that are listening to this want to get to the point one day where they actually get the privilege of thinking, what's next, right? What's on the other side of this? Where can I take this? How far can I push this? Where's your mindset at looking at the direction that you're going and how you're choosing which direction to go?
So I feel like it's always been like, it's always kind of like a deep in the back of my mind. And it takes time to like really, figure out what to do next. But I mean, when opportunities come about, like I try to actually take advantage of those opportunities. And when it came down to it, like, the reason as to why I got the compound was I was getting more cars and like currently I have like 6 cars in total. And I'm like, I don't want to keep all the cars at my house. So let me try to get a warehouse. So the thing about getting a warehouse is that I couldn't do what I want to do. I couldn't, build it out. I couldn't have those certain things in the warehouse that I wanted to have. And all the warehouses were just leased. And I'm like, I don't want to do all this and make it all like homey and I can't actually, keep it. So I bought the piece of land, the 1.56 acres. I mean, it ran me like $470,000, but at the same time, like that's a place that it's land. It's technically property. It's an asset, and the craziest thing about that piece of land is that like at one point in time, it was worth 1.1 million. So it's like, that was a great investment for me as it is, because by the time that I build it up, it's going to be worth about maybe like 1.8 or even 2 million plus. It's going to have a lot of things on it. So like when it came down to it, like, I mean, I had the opportunity to actually look at it. I fell in love with it. And like I've always been a visionary, you know what I'm saying? Like you could give me a blank canvas and I could just envision like, you know, something crazy on it or some kind of like that. Like even when it came to Forever and Profit, I've always been that visionary. I've always seen the brand growing to a crazy potential, and just, I don't know how it's going to get there, but I'm going to work positive until it gets to that certain point. And whenever I come across a certain opportunity that I could actually benefit from, I'm going to take it, you know, and try to actually divert it to that vision that I have in my mind. So like, that's how the compound kind of came about. So, it's just like those things just, I think in life, you get certain hints as to what you could be doing next, you know, but a lot of people just like, they pass up opportunities all the time. And, you know, they miss out on those potential, you know, new paths in their journey that they could go, but not a lot of people take them. And I'm like one person that I'm not really scared to take on a new project. I love a new project. It keeps me entertained because when it comes to trading, I feel like you have to find new things to do, because like some people say, okay, like they want to make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year in trading. Okay, so what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
once you're hitting all of those milestones as far as like financially, then what's next? You know, some people don't think about that. Like they start trading and then they think about, oh yeah, like I want to make so-and-so, I want to retire my family, so-and-so. But what happens after you do all that?
Sure.
What's next? You know?
So I wanted to ask two questions. First off, humor me this. Q, why goats?
So like back in Jamaica and everything, I kind of grew up with, you know, like when that kind of lifestyle, like in St. Elizabeth is like more of a country part of Jamaica. You know, we have goats, we have cows, we have pigs, you know, we have crops, we have all that stuff.
Right.
It's like, it's very, very different because like on my dad's side is more, you know, he's the more suburb type-ish. And then on my mom's side is more on the countryside. So it's kind of like best of both worlds. And yeah, so like when it came down to the property, I was like, you know, like why not get something that I really are into, like that I'm really into as far as goats. It's kind of weird because at the same time, I mean, it's still, you know, kind of like a farm animal in a sense, but at the same time, they're not hard to take care of. Goats don't really need that much maintenance. They eat grass all day, make sure that they have a shelter and that kind of stuff, and then you're good. Versus cows, they're huge.
Bro, do you have somebody like tending the goats?
Yeah, actually, I have an assistant that actually goes there like almost every other day, just to make sure that they're taken care of and everything. So he's a part of the Wall Street Academy team as well. So like, you know, that's like a student of mine as well, like that, you know, brings value to the brand. You know, like if it's not direct, it could be indirect. And I mean, him just making sure that the property is taken care of, the goats are taken care of, like that has helped me out tremendously. So, you know, I definitely appreciate the people that's on my team and then like making those certain things a little bit less stressful for me to actually do. So I could actually like acquire all these things, but also put another person in a better position as well. But also but now they're part of the circle, which makes it even doper. So they could actually, you know, have fun with us, you know? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what I want to hear. All right. So second part of that question is basically what you were insinuating before is you don't really have any problems keeping yourself from getting content. A lot of people reach that goal. I want to retire my family, become financially free. And then once they get there, they kind of hang out, right? They can hang out every day to have their time freedom back. So they don't really have a motivation to reach for the next thing. So are you saying that you don't really have a problem with that? You seem to just be mindset focused and be focused on the next goal?
Yeah, no, it's funny because I mean, that's something that I went through. I mean, it's like, okay, you're making money, like, I mean, at times making like, you know, 6-figure months and that kind of shit. Like, I mean, I remember like in July, like I showed like the Wall Street Academy students, you know, some past withdrawals and everything. I had like $1 million plus in like 1 month when I had bought my Ferrari and shit. And like after knocking out all those stuff, like, I mean, it's kind of like you kind of have like a list of things that you want to knock out, but at the same time, like it's not gonna, you know, come all at the same time. So I feel like trying to actually, you know, be around different places to get motivated in different kind of ways. Explore a little bit, not staying in your same city the entire time as you're making money. Because if a person is making money like how they say that they are, you're not going to want to stay in the same place every single day. Like, you want to move around, explore different sceneries, different areas, so you can get motivated by what you're seeing. And I feel like, that's even why I had got my spot in Brickell now, you know what I'm saying? Because I still have my other house, but at the same time, like, I was around there, but I wasn't being motivated, because I'm the only person that has a Ferrari and a Lamborghini in one household inside the area. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing that every single day, Right. But when I come down to like this area, I feel like I get more motivated because I'm seeing this kind of thing on the regular. And right. That shows that people that is around here as well, they're also, visionary, and they're thinking bigger, and they're trying to actually get to that next level. So it's like, you have to actually get out and just like explore to actually, get those creative juices flowing in some kind of way that you can't get if you're just making money and being stationary the entire time. You got to just get out there and like really enjoy what you're working for,
For sure.
Not just sticking to one spot and everything. Like, so that way of going about it, you're not going to be complacent in any kind of way, because you're seeing more versus just seeing the same thing every single day,
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I appreciate you breaking that down. Q, would you say that the last 3 or 4 months have been some of the most successful for you on the charts?
Definitely, man. Definitely, bro. Like, I remember, like, I hit my biggest record trade. I think it was in June or July. Like June or July. I had shared a little quick snippet of that. I had a $600,000 trade. I had, back-to-back $100,000 days. Like, it was crazy, man. So I feel like just me actually just getting into like my own zone, like I was able to actually, bring my focus level, and like, just like, that inner beast in me out, and really just attack shit. Just like not be scared of, at times seeing money fluctuate, just like really being open with understanding, like, the level of skill that I do have and the level of confidence that I have in my skill, because both of those things have to go hand in hand, because if one of them is off, then you're not going to be able to actually execute certain things. It's me actually being confident in both categories. Like, I was able to actually, hit those milestones. So definitely, I feel like, out of my entire, probably 6 years of trading, these past probably 3-4 months was definitely the most productive that I've ever had in my craft, in monetary wise or anything else. Like, I've definitely knocked out a lot of milestones and everything these past like few months right here. So yeah.
So first off, hats off. Like, seriously, congratulations, Q. That's a huge milestone. That's something that a lot of people at home, myself included, are aiming for and working for. And so you're talking about the confidence and the skill, but what really was that shift for you to really kick this thing into overdrive, get to a point where you unleash that beast?
I feel like just having that time to yourself every now and then, is very important. Like, having that time to yourself every now and then to kind of like harness that energy that so you could actually think about, like what type of next goal do you want to knock out? And if that opportunity does arise, like, are you going to take advantage of it? And at the time, I was building my account, like, it was nice. And then I found some really, really good opportunities, and I was like, yo, like, let me just try to, just understand like my risk on how much I'm willing to lose on that certain trade, and just attack it, and not be scared of seeing red. And that's like one thing I've always said, like, every single time that a person puts in a trade, if you're scared of seeing red, you're not going to profit. If you're scared to lose money, you're not going to profit. So it's like, I'm not scared to lose money, and I'm not scared to see red. And like, having those two things at like a nice balance, it allows me to actually, execute like how I want to, doing standards and 2 lots and 3 lots on US 30. Like, that's what I do on the regular now.
That's nice.
So it's like just having that comfortability of doing that, but having a confidence level of doing that, you could actually, tackle your goals a lot faster than you can even imagine don't take it wrong, you could tackle your goals a lot faster if people can just stop being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And just, yeah, that's what it is. Don't be a bitch and just like, yo, don't be scared to risk. Do not be scared to risk. Be open to risk and be open to understanding yourself and understanding how skillful and how insightful you are at a certain thing. And then I feel like that's when you could actually really, really blow up, you know, whatever industry that you're currently in. You know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to trading, like, I mean, I do this every single day for the past 6 years, every day. So when it comes to certain things, like I'm not going to be scared to do it because it's kind of like I had made a comparison this one time. Like if you watch Kobe Black Mamba on Netflix, he said something like, you know, he practices the same shot or like a similar shot every single day for so and so amount of times a day. And in a game, do you think he'll be scared to take that shot if he's been practicing it the entire time? Not at all. It's effortless. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to take pride in your craft and really, really want to take your craft seriously, then you would put in that same amount of time that it takes to actually get numb to executing those certain trades when it comes down to it. Because if you have the opportunity, you have to take advantage of it. Because if you don't, you just miss an opportunity to get out of the situation that you're currently in. You know?
Off the top of your head, can you name a few things that people do to get in their own way? You're saying that people's fear and people's lack of confidence is stopping them, or people's fear of taking risk is stopping them from really getting to that next level. You know, off the top of your heads, things that you can remember that you were doing that was like, as soon as you stop doing those things, stop getting in your own way, you seem to move forward?
I feel like just first, understanding your risk. You know, don't be scared to risk because you have to risk to make a certain amount of money. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying you don't want to risk $10,000, but you want to make $100,000 on a certain trade. You know what I'm saying? Like the risk has to be proportionate for that certain thing. The second thing is just don't lie to yourself. You know, do not like being honest with your own self is probably the most important thing that I could tell anybody to do. Like if in your head you're saying, yeah, man, I'm on the charts, I study every day, I'm doing what I got to do, but the honesty out of that is that you're probably on the charts maybe an hour a day. You're not really studying like how you say that you're studying. You know what I'm saying? It's like really, really understand like what you're doing as far as your habits, and just be honest with, you know, those habits. Like, are you actually executing those things that can make you move forward? Are you doing what you have to do to move forward? Like, do what's necessary to move forward. And then the last thing I feel like is just comparison, and then like watching everybody else, you know, watching everybody else's trades, watching the money that everybody else is making, and watching how everybody else is doing based off of a certain skill set that you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. Because everyone is on their own time clock. You know, like everyone's clock is different. Like this person, these 5 people all started differently, but also they're studying the same craft. They all started at a different times, but some people might be a bit more insightful based off of their past history. You know, some people might have grown up doing a Rubik's Cube and that kind of stuff, that they're really good at patterns. So that's going to help you in this certain industry because this is all it's pattern based and everything has to be on a certain flow. Like those certain little things can help you be a lot more progressive compared to a person that been playing sports every single day of their life. Some people that play sports 24/7, but they know nothing about patterns. They know nothing about understanding a certain flow in consistency amount of patterns and that kind of stuff. Like it's gonna be harder. So it's like it's based on a person's like past history and past experiences to actually, you know, have a little bit more insight on a certain industry. So it's like everyone's gonna be a bit different as far as like how fast they're progressing with trading. But at the same time, don't compare yourself. Just do what you have to do to actually, you know, better that certain skill set or where you're lacking, so you won't lack inside that category anymore. Like if you know that you suck at, you know, sticking to the computer for a certain amount of time because you hate being on the computer, okay, then figure out a different way on how you could actually study and not experience that headache that you might experience with being on the computer for a long period of time. Like do what's fucking necessary. Right. Like don't have any kind of excuses to say like, oh, I can't learn it because of so-and-so. You're a fucking human.
Right.
You know, we're all human here. So like the same abilities that I have, somebody else can also have as well, but they have to just either play catch up based off of like my past history. But everything that I've acquired, everything that I've learned in life, everything that I've experienced, a person can experience something similar as well in some kind of way to actually benefit inside this niche right here.
Sure.
Just do what's necessary. And
so on the topic of doing what's necessary, what should traders be using their time doing? So you said some people are only spending an hour on the charts a day, and it's usually just staring at the charts. What do you recommend people do with that time, with that productive time?
I always say fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the knowledge. Fall in love with just understanding the flow of how candles form. Fall in love with understanding every little piece of what you're looking at. Because if you don't all right, you should be this insightful as far as, and I feel like this is why I've been so good at teaching as well, right? Because a student, we could be in class and a student can ask, hey, Q, like what if I have so-and-so fibs and so-and-so time frame and this and that, and I'm at this point in structure, so on and so on. Like they give me a random scenario. I could pretty much understand that scenario in my head and pretty much understand where can I pick up the analysis based off of where that currently is. Mm-hmm. If you can't do that by just, by your, let's say like year, 2 years, 3 years of trading, then that's the issue, because that's what I can get on the charts literally at any time period and understand where I'm at, what I'm anticipating, what I'm looking for next. Anything that I see on the charts, I could pinpoint what I should be expecting next. And if you can't actually anticipate a certain move based off a random area inside the chart, then you have to do more studying. So as far as the back testing, understanding past movements, understanding like candlestick anatomy, understanding structure, understanding all the anatomy that you're pretty much seeing on the charts, like how things form, why they form certain kind of ways, what they mean, all of that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to pretty much understand your craft to the T so much that you could hop on the charts literally at any time period, and pretty much analyze where the current chart is and anticipate what is possible next based off of what you're currently seeing.
Awesome.
Be that good. Yeah.
Awesome. That's mastery. So it really just put in the hours. Do you have any backtesting sites that you use? Do you use TradingView? Like
TradingView, TradingView is like my go-to, and I don't use any kind of softwares or anything like that. People's going to always have their own way on how they backtest. To each his own. I don't argue about that. And this is another thing. I don't argue like when it comes to how people want to go about how they analyze and that kind of stuff. I don't give a fuck. Everyone's going to have their own way on how they do everything. What works for me. And I mean, it's obvious, So at the same time, like how I backtest is just on TradingView. I pretty much I remember this one time I literally broke down a month worth of candlesticks all the way down to certain time frames. And pretty much I took every single entry from backtesting on how I could have entered, exited, put in more orders. It's pretty much just training your mind to pretty much be already open to finding more and more opportunities, but also being accustomed to analyzing a certain kind of way. So like get on the charts, like get on TradingView, pretty much go inside a past, like really break a certain chart down from like a month ago and break down every single entry that you could have taken, every single thing that you could have analyzed a certain kind of way, every single line that you could have drawn, every single trend line that you could have drawn, every single thing that you could have done to benefit from every single move that appeared on that single chart. So it's like you gotta just really be open to.
You're a dog, bro.
Because some people think that like they need softwares, they need this, they need that. I'm like, yo, TradingView literally has everything that you need. You have to just know on how to use it. And I've never used a software to backtest ever. I felt like just the past data just gave me enough insight on what I could be expecting based off of how the candles are forming. So it's like just using that alone, it's training your eyes to see certain things at certain times. So when it appears again, you're pretty much you have more insight on what you're expecting next based off of what you've been analyzing inside the past. So it's like just having all of that is going to train your eyes, but also train your pattern recognition when it comes down to it. And I'm not talking about just a candlestick pattern. I'm talking about just the overall chart pattern as far as where it pulls back on fibs, how the candles are forming, exhaustion areas, wicks. Like you're seeing all this with such clarity that's why when people start trading, their charts are all cluttered, right? Because
Right.
they need all these assistants and that kind of stuff to actually get it. It's kind of like riding a bicycle. You're going to need trading wheels. You're going to need all these things to kind of like get on the ball. So to the point that you could say, fuck trading wheels, and then eventually you could just do a wheelie and then ride on one wheel. Like
For sure.
riding on one wheel is like that professional level of trading, right?
Put in the time, people. Put that time in. You cannot escape it. It's not possible.
And like now, like I literally, like I don't really use the moving averages as much. I don't really need much on my charts. Like everything is just so, I understand so much that I need so little on my charts.
I love that. That's beautiful. Keeping it simple. All right, Q, I want to make this a little bit more fun. Talk to me about some of the biggest lessons since you've had this 7-figure trading month. Talk to me about these lessons from the breakthroughs.
The lessons,
like things you've learned this year. Some of the biggest things you've taken away from this year.
The biggest things, man. The biggest thing I've learned is that you have to keep yourself busy. Have a hobby on the side to actually keep your mind sane, because that kind of goes into like life balance, make money, but also, understand that you're also building up your life as well. Don't be so addicted to being on the charts and wanting to make money, because people that want to make money so bad that they don't make it, so that's like, take more time to put in to your skill set versus trying to actually attack the charts. It's kind of like saying, I'll spend 4 or 5 months training before the army, but when I get to the army, I'm good because I've already been training the entire time. So I'm already mentally ready for it. So it's like, just, put in more time so you can benefit from the skill set that you're actually trying to gain. But also the biggest thing I've learned, and I've always been telling people all the time, I get hated on a lot, bro. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I don't know why, because the funniest thing about it, and I say funny because people hate on me for a skill set that they're trying to actually get good at. So I'm good at the skill that they're trying to get good at.
Yeah. And
I'm like, how can you hate on a person that was in your position at one point in time?
It's envy, bro. It's just envy.
Bro, it's like that always blows my mind. Like, because what if that person that was hating on me, they get to the certain point that they're making so much money, so it's only right for me to hate on them, right? To say that everything's fake, right? So it's like, just be comfortable in your own journey. Like, don't compare yourself. Don't like once I stop really comparing myself and stop really looking at other people's profits and that kind of stuff, I feel like I progress so much more. Like, I just like block certain people out, and I just been comfortable with my own accomplishments. Like, that's why, like, I always have a bottle of champagne, because every accomplishment has to be celebrated, bro.
Okay.
Every accomplishment, because that's making you more comfortable in knowing that you're working towards something.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear
so,
that
like,
for sure.
Some of the biggest thing that I've learned is just like, yo, clap for my own damn self. Celebrate big things for my own damn self, because at the same time, like, you worked for it. So you got to actually celebrate every little thing.
Walk me through 2 things. Why the Pista? And then walk me through the process of buying an exotic car.
The Pista, because I like top tier, and I always say top tier. Like, if I'm doing anything, I like top tier. Because I don't want to regret anything if I didn't get top tier. So I could have easily got a 458. I could have easily got a 488. I could have easily got like certain Ferraris, but the Pista is the top tier of the class in the 488 line, because for one, it's limited. I like everything limited, kind of like how my SV, the Lambo, is only 600 made of those. Everything limited because it's more exclusive, and I feel better about it, and I have no regret after I get it. Right. So the Pista, they always said, like, a person's first Ferrari is supposed to be red. I was like, all right, cool. Like, let me stick with the history and, like, the whole reason behind that. So I got it red. I found a few of them, but then again, we seen one in Missouri. We flew out there on a private jet to check it out. It was amazing. I fell in love with it the same day. Then so like the entire time that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, like, this is freaking incredible. But also, it's even more incredible that I paid the entire thing with all Bitcoin. It's fully paid off in Bitcoin. So
wow.
So that was based off of that big day, that the big trade that I had. It was based off of that. So, like, I took 500,000 of Bitcoin and I bought the Pista. It's all paid off and everything. So
Bitcoin's price just went up. Bitcoin's price just went up.
That's the coolest part about the Pista, man, is that it's all paid in BTC, which makes it even cooler, because it's kind of like bringing, this certain technology that people still kind of like finding out about and then using it to something that I love, you know? So like, it's kind of like incorporating both of my loves into like one thing. And what was the other thing again?
Well, you basically answered, like, walk us through the process of buying an exotic
Oh,
car. But
so
you had a special story, so I really want to hear this.
yeah, man. So like when it comes to like buying like exotic cars and everything, like I always say it's either you really want it or you're barely getting by to get it, right? And I say this. So like when it comes to me buying an exotic car, the Lambo or the Ferrari, like I always say either put down 50% of the money to buy the car, because that shows that you really want it, or it's paid off, right? Because of this. They always say, oh, exotic cars are depreciating assets and so on and so on. Who fucking cares? Live your fucking life, spend the fucking money, enjoy the car. Like, who cares that it's fucking depreciating to the point that you're going to lose all your money? I doubt it's ever going to happen. You might get less money back after you've driven it for a long period of time, but don't be so scared to buy an exotic car just because it's a depreciating asset. Have fucking fun. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with the car, like and enjoy why you're even making money in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't care about $10,000 depreciating from the car because you just bought it and so on and so on. If you're making that kind of money, like, who gives a fuck about $10,000? Like, I'll have a lot more fun with the car than care about that 10K, honestly. You know?
Said your Uncle Q just said it. Your Uncle Q just said it. All right, go out there and have fun. Q, what's next for you? What's next for FIP? What do you got? What do you got in the works? What's the vision looking like?
So far it's just making sure that all of the brands under the FIP umbrella is like, you know, sustainable and like it's growing. You know, you have still a technical prosperity. Ryan's app is still doing great. You have Emil Profits for Life, which is still blowing up in all of in South America and all over, you know, the country as well, but mainly in South America, because he actually caters to a lot of, you know, the Venezuelans and, you know, all of the people in that friggin' country. So he kind of like reaches out to a certain crowd that I can't get at. So like, that's why Emil's such like a vital asset to this entire company. And then you have Drew making sure that he's actually still staying focused and that kind of stuff and still being productive with everything that he has going on. He has a course coming out soon. He has his Signal app. He has a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So every single person that's under the FIP umbrella is all about growth, you know? And at times, like, you know, I get very, very aggressive. Like when it comes to doing business with me, I get very, very aggressive because I pretty much understand, like, you know, I'm a visionary, you know, like in that visionary type of mentality, it at times could be an asshole, but at the same time, like, I'm going based off like my experience and like what I think is best. You know, opinions are always welcome, but at the same time, like, you know, I like to actually be so stern with how I want to go about things that, you know, it's at times it could build the person also. It builds the person's business to be more business savvy. It builds the person more confidence. It builds the person just overall insight on how things could be actually, you know, be followed through with, so they can have the best experiences. But also, like, with FIP, like, it's all about just growth and just, you know, having everybody stay on track so they could actually, you know, build the businesses to the fullest potential possible, you know? So it takes time. Yeah, it takes time. It takes effort. But at the same time, it's more than worth it at the end of the day, because we're still giving value to the niche. We're still, we're adding value, but also we're adding people. We're giving people more open-mindedness so they could actually think bigger, you know, think bigger. Like, I feel like if you're trading, nothing should ever be too expensive. You know, nothing can ever be too expensive if you take trading seriously, because some people think that, like, you know, oh shit, a car drive-by, yeah, it's too expensive. Not really. Just put in more effort on the charts, and then that'll be, you know, a regular thing that you could buy, you know? So like, just trying to, like, you know, give people more insight on how they should think as far as entrepreneurs and just, you know, experiencing life at its fullest potential, you know? Because like one of my good friends had told me something the other day. They said, like, your life is supposed to be lived, you know, and once you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong, you know? So like, why not, you know, be the best version of yourself if you have, you know, the tools to do it, you know? So that's what we actually try to, you know, bring our team together, keep our circle strong, and just, like, you know, build up the entire brand, build up the entire people that's associated with the brand, so everybody can actually be at a certain level that we could all have fun. We could all get exotic cars. Like we could all just fly out to a random country and just vibe out for an entire month or so. Like we want everybody to actually be able to do the same exact thing. So that's why we actually, you know, share all of our skills and share all of our education and knowledge so people can actually get into a better spot as well.
All right, Q, in all honesty, it's beautiful watching the transition. You're passing the torch on to the next generation.
Always.
It's all inspiring to see the journey, and it's very inspiring. So I want to say thank you. Everything you like is top tier. I want to thank you for a top tier conversation. CueBanks himself stopped by the Expert Trader podcast. If everybody wants to watch this, make sure you guys go back and take notes. We're going to send all the links down in the description for everything that we talked about today. Any courses, any links, any websites will be included in the description. Mr. Banks, thank you for stopping by.
Always, man. Peace out. Thank you.